Yon! What's up, everyone? And happy Sunday and good evening. Parang medyo malabo yung cam ko. But anyway, what's up, guys? Good evening. Welcome back to another Sunday night charting session. Hope everyone had a great, productive, and well-rested weekend. So, guys, quick favor before we officially begin. Please help us share the stream. And please, pa-comment na lang if everything's clear, yung audio. Tas comment lang kayo. I'll do a few shout-outs before I let my co-hosts part in the stream as well. So, pahelp na lang i-share yung stream before we begin. Pa-comment kung okay yung audio. Mag-play ako ng onting music para di naman malungkot, pero mahina lang. Okay. What's up? So actually, pasok ko na isa kong kasama na taga-Investa rin. So, I would like to call on into the stream the one and only Kahane. What's up, bro? Good
Hello,
evening.
everyone. What's up? Good evening.
Kamusta?
Hi. Aksang naman. So, same old with the markets. Wala masyado nangyayari.
Yun. So guys, kung alam niyo lang, kami ni Kahane, kami lagi magkausap about markets. Parang, bro, deploy na ba natin? Pero ayun, kahit kami nangangapa pa, we'll discuss more about that later. So, what's up? Good evening, everyone. So, boss, John Prado, good morning. So, OFW ba kayo, boss? So, good evening. First one to show up. Boss Gerald, good evening. Miss Marso, good evening po, ma'am. Sir Oliver, good evening. Boss Christian. Ayun, boss. Ikaw na yung una ko na shout out, boss. What's up? Boss Derek, good evening. And Ma'am Nina, what's up? So, di ko na papatagalin pa, of course. Our agenda for tonight is not only to chart, right? But medyo nilagyan namin a theme, no, yung charting session this weekend. It will probably be the same thing as we move forward. No? What we want to do now is we want to start the charting session answering maybe 1 to 2 questions, right? That will benefit most of the viewers. And then we'll proceed to looking at the indices and the mga stuff na importante like USDT HP, maybe the TNX, maybe US oil since magkaka-price hike sa Tuesday. And then we'll proceed and maybe some news, Kahane, 'di ba? Kailangan natin mag-research and then we'll proceed with the charting session proper. So, without further ado, I'd like to call on yung mga kasama namin tonight. Of course, Mr. Matt Flores and Mr. Ed Bayangos. Mga sir, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Investa. Good evening. Shoutouts sa Open Journal fam.
Yun. Good evening, guys.
Kamusta weekend niyo, mga sir?
Okay naman, bahay lang.
Same. Ako bahay lang. May lakad lang yesterday pero the whole day-to-day. Nood ng basketball and then bahay lang.
Pre-season,
pati load ako ng basketball dito sa amin. Malapit.
yan, nice. Anong masasabi nyo kay Kahane, sino yung taga France? yung 7
Victor
Wanyama.
anong masasabi nyo sa kanya?
Lakas pa.
Insane. Sabi nga ni Steph Curry is like para siyang 2K player. 'Di ba? Yun yung parang inedit mo na 2K player na lahat ando na. 7'4 height. Ando na lahat.
8 feet wingspan, tapos
pero yung one thing na tinitingnan din sa kanya ng mga analyst is yung body build niya, no? Same nangyari kay first number 1 pick this year. Diba? So yun yung main concern nila, yung body structure niya. So hopefully yun yung ma-improve niya moving forward and of course pagdating niya sa NBA.
Yun, okay. So, alright. So, before we, like I said, before we look at mga indices, I think something, a way we can start our discussion is, actually, nung ginagawa ko yung theme, ngayon ko napansin na Q4 na pala. Diba? Dapat, what will we do for upcoming Q4? Pero hindi, Q4 na pala, last 3 months of the year. So, ang bilis ng taon. And I think one thing that can benefit a lot of the people in the trading community is a discussion on how we plan to approach markets to end the year, diba? Especially now na sobrang daming factors, sobrang daming variables that can affect markets moving forward. Maybe I'd like to start with you, no? Bro Matt, I think a lot of people are interested to hear insights on this. So, ayun, just straightforward. How do
Yeah.
you plan to navigate throughout this treacherous, throughout this uncertain
Yep.
market environment
Correct.
in Q4?
Ako siguro to start, historically, even we started, even during the 1900s, 1927, 1970s, 2007, even lahat ng bear market, laging merong at least a major probability. What we are expecting is merong bear market rally for October, and usually the best performance ng any equities, cryptocurrencies during October, between October to February. Laging ganyan yung months. However, ang concern natin this Q4, specifically, let's start first with Ed will further discuss global market. But for me, ang concern ko lang, hindi naman siya totally a concern, but something to watch out lang. Given na the whole year we're talking about inflation, recession, spending. Given na Philippines, it's a consumer-driven country, meaning we spend a lot, same with US economy. And given na we spend a lot, syempre the expectation is pwedeng tumaas yung inflation. And that's again, the main story, the whole 2022. And also the reason kung bakit the central bank in the United States, central bank here in the Philippines are continue to raise interest rates kasi nga inflation natin tumataas. I know it's a good indicator na if you're a company, let's say URC, Pure Gold, DNL, Jollibee, yung mga consumer company, I mean, earnings-wise, yan naman yung gusto natin eh, di ba? As a company, yan yung gusto natin. Given na, I mean, pikikitain tayo, given na maraming pwedeng paggastusan, may 13-month pay pa. But the bad side nga is more of consumer, aakyat, maraming pambili, inflation hindi pa nga totally nagsistable eh. And even the central bank, BSP, hindi pa rin totally nag-pivot or even they're still raising interest rates 50 to even potentially 75 basis points. So yung concern ko lang, something to watch out this Q4 is umakyat yung inflation. That's a bad side, which is potentially equivalent to another rate hike or aggressive rate hike sa central bank. The good side is may mga companies na advantage yung consumer spending as a country tayo. Like for example, yun nga na-mention ko, Jollibee, URC, Pure Gold. But looking at the chart as of now, parang merong, pangit yung chart niya syempre. But let's see. Coming to Q4, this Q4, I'm looking forward to their earnings report, diba? And then of course, kung ano yung mangyayari globally. So yun, at least yun yung binabantayan ko. I know it's a good sign na historically merong bear market rally between October to Feb. Pero tingnan natin moving forward.
So how about you? Thank you, Bro Matt, for those insightful comments. So how about you, Bro Ed? What are some things you're looking at? How do you plan to approach the markets?
So kami naman, ever since naman nung second half na this year, talagang risk off pa rin kami. And for me, same pa rin yung strategy ko. So, lower pa rin yung position sizing ko pag nagtutrade ako. Talagang quick buy and sell lang, buy low, sell high. For me, hindi talaga to yung time na mag-momentum ka and mag-hold ka ng matagal sa stocks mo eh. So, wala namang change doon, di ba? And for me, ang binabantayan ko for this fourth quarter is yung dalawang natitirang Fed meeting, yung raising of interest rates sila. So based sa dot plot ng Fed, so expectation is dalawang 75 basis points pa ang mangyayari for this year. So mangyayari yun this November 2 and December 14. Diba? And another thing na concern ko rin is last week, yun nga, nagka-news na yung OPEC nag-cut ng supply around 2 million per day, di ba? So, isa yun sa magiging concern ko na if mangyari yan, hindi mas solusyonan ng US, mas solusyonan yung supply cuts, di ba? Possible na mag-rise ulit yung oil prices, and alam naman natin na yung oil, isa sa malaking contributors sa inflation. So, if ever nga na tumaas na naman yung CPI data sa US, possibly na hindi lang dalawang 75 basis points ang makita natin. Malay natin, 75 November, tas 100 sa December. So, yun. So, for me, yun naman talaga pinaka-binabantayan ko. So, ayan, tingin-tingin lang talaga sa macro charts, 10-year, dollar, and oil. So, yun lang naman sa akin.
10-year, dollar, and oil.
Yup.
So, thanks for those, Ed. So, sabi ni Ed, no? Ayun nga, actually, price of oil, lumakit na eh. Magkaka-price hike sa Tuesday. Pag diesel, 5 pesos, 6 pesos.
Oo.
Gasoline, 1. Nagpagas na kami kanina. So safe na kami for the week. So, how about you, Kahane?
Ako lang din naman. Actually, kakapagas lang rin namin in anticipation of the price hikes.
Hindi bro, ano yung tingin mo sa markets? Hindi ko
Sorry. Okay.
Bro, sige, ulitin ko. Bro, Kahane, how do you plan to approach
yung question eh. Masyadong sa open.
Okay. So I guess yung pinaka-tinitignan ko ngayon sa markets is yung bond sa treasury, sa US, bali yung treasuries nila. So, na-bring up lang kasi before when I listened to a talk na there's an issue with treasuries going up too much for the US, specifically possibly sa repo markets. So, yun nga, I guess para sa akin, titignan ko kung ano yung, I guess, possible solutions ng Fed in case the treasury markets volatility becomes an issue for the repo markets.
Alright,
So, yun naman.
Alright, thanks Kahane. Siguro ako, since maganda na yung mga macro insights, no? For local, si Matt, for global, si Ed, and si Kahane. Siguro, the way I plan to approach markets coming into Q4 is to just be able to sit on my hands as long as possible. Kasi buong year, sobrang challenging na market. Almost the whole year. Parang yung easiest, the whole year nasa tayo eh. Mark Minervini calls it a hard penny environment. Nakatikim lang tayo ng easy dollar environment nung, I forgot if it was June or July, pero I think it was early July hanggang mga late August. Nung medyo nagka-counter rally, we had a few names, Matic, kahit sina Ethereum, ayun. Actually sa crypto, marami nag-rally and we were able to take advantage of that. But other than that, ayun, markets have been very difficult. Sa crypto market, I think only QNT is really outperforming everyone else. But it's mostly the only one na tumutuloy, right? After a rally post, tas tumutuloy. But other than that, most names are still down, right, or breaking down. So the way I want to approach markets is just to be patient, right? Given everything na sinabi ni Matt, everything na sinabi ni Ed, everything na sinabi ni Kahane, to sit on my hands as long as possible and to continue to remind myself na I don't have to pick the bottom. Diba, paano COVID lang yan eh. I remember yung pinaka last market crash, a bad trip ako kasi di ko na-pick yung bottom, right? And it negatively impacted my performance. Kasi medyo tilt na ako nun, right? Pero yung pala, it was a 18-month bull market right after. So that's my mindset, diba? Coming into Q4. I'm not sure if the bottom will come, but if it does, it's okay if I don't catch it, as long as I'm still always mentally prepared for when the right setups for me come about, diba? So yun lang. That's how I plan to approach markets this Q4.
Yeah.
No. So ayun. So thanks for sharing, everyone. So I think now a great thing to do since we're talking about macro, we talked a lot about macro is to take a look at the charts. Take a look at some of the key charts. You're starting with the PSEI. So Kahane, I will open your screen. Teka lang. Ayun pala, just to add, just to add to how I plan to approach markets. I don't plan to be aggressive until the DNA changes. Kasi if tignan nyo, especially sa US, last Friday, nung nag-break down below the June lows, nung Monday, nung nag-rally higher, dito, nag-deploy ako ng onti niyan eh. I bought a few names sa crypto, which I'm still holding on now. Di pa naman, nasa a little above break even. Pero wala eh, nag-fade kaagad. So, wala, until magka-follow through higher, di ba?
Yeah.
Maybe something similar to what happened in in July to August. I probably won't be more than 15% invested, which is probably 3 positions sa tag 5% na puro probe lang. So ayun. So moving on, pwede pakita ng PSCI, bro. Ay, joke ikaw nga pala yung nag-share, kala ko ako. Buksan ko yung chart ko. So ayun. So maybe we can start with you, bro Matt.
Yep.
For the PSCI.
Correct. So ako, just to reiterate lang, no, in terms of, since you mentioned the position, number of allocation sa portfolio, sobrang okay during this kind of environment, be very careful guys na deploying aggressively and marami kayong position. Kasi again, this is more of, we already know that we are given a ganyang kalalim yung down move. Yung mga ganyang rally, this is more of a short term or swing lang. So what you need to understand in terms of position, allocation sa portfolio nyo, hindi kayo maging aggressive and mas mamonitor nyo carefully. Kasi the more na mas marami kayo, let's say 6, 8, 10, and then lahat yan sabay-sabay, nalalaglag. Okay kung lahat aakyat, di ba? Pero yun nga, yung concern natin, given that this kind of sentiment environment, gusto natin mas focus muna tayo dun sa tinitrade natin. Going back to the chart, at least yung rally na yan, the same what we did in Open Journal. So kala natin na this is potentially the short-term bottom of the market, di ba? Pero yun pala, oversold level lang. So ang gusto natin makita is at least given na ganito yung move, okay, currently holding your support level, and what we want to see moving forward coming to this week, chart-wise, is parang magkaroon ng double bottom. Okay, kasi ngayon meron kang resistance level dun sa breakdown point eh. So what we want to see, it's a clear double bottom or even a triple bottom para may sign ng short-term reversal. Kasi akala natin parang last week, parang sagad na yung US dollar, meaning overbought levels na yung US dollar. So, and even TNX, your 10-year treasury bond yields, the whole charting session natin every Sunday, we keep on mentioning US dollar, TNX. Kasi usually, pag umaakyat yan, as you all know, again, dun sa mga charting session natin, the more na umaakyat yan, expect more volatility sideways to a down move sa risky assets, equities, and cryptocurrency. So this one, given na akala natin parang, overbought na US dollar TNX. So baka may potential for this equity market, PSEI, to move higher short term. Pero ang nangyari, it just did resist dun sa breakdown point. And it seems that the US dollar parang magre-retest ng previous high niya. So for me, I want to stay on the side. Yung strategy natin, we want to stay on the side first. Okay? Wait for the perfect opportunity, meaning like I mentioned, yung gusto natin makita, it's more of a double bottom, triple bottom, higher low for the Philippine market. Pero as of now, talaga medyo malabo pa eh.
You mentioned yung US dollar. Bro Kahane, maybe you can pull up that chart. And Matt and Ed, baka you guys have any comments here? Grabe, ganda ng chart, no? Sana lahat
Parang pwede mo bilhin, di ba? DXY, tingnan mo yung DXY. Yan, no? Merong pagka-drawing mo yung short term mo dyan, confluence ng short-term trend line sa daily, confluence with your 50-day EMA. So, that's your medium baba pa. Yan. Tapos, short-term, simula dun sa August. Yan. Perfect. So, yan. Akala natin, and that's what we were looking, di ba? Sa community ed. Nalala mo? So, what we discuss is, what we want to see is for US dollar na mag-breakdown dito sa short-term trend line and then confluence with your 50-day EMA. Ikaw, Ed.
Yeah. So for me in dollar, Akala ko last week parang maganda na eh. Starting nung September 28 candle. Diyan ako nag-start mag-deploy sa local eh. Sabi ko mukhang pa-reverse na to ah. Tas pero if titingnan nyo, sakto, October 5, nung na-release din yung news about oil, doon rin parang nagka-reversal si DXY. So actually ako, tinitingnan ko is yung lower trend line na drawing ni Kahane. So next ko dyan sana magbabounce. Kaso yun nga, nagkaroon ng news bigla. And one thing natutunan ko is yung talaga, yung gas, yung oil prices, isa yan sa leading indicators talaga ng inflation eh. Usually, tingnan mo na lang yung oil, mas mauuna yun magpapakita sa'yo na nagkakaroon na ng inflation kaysa sa CPI, PPI.
So, kaya ako, pula oil?
US oil.
So yan, tingnan nyo yun, October 5. October 5.
Falling wedge yan, bro.
Oo, diba? So yan, diniscuss namin, nagulat kami, biglang nag-rally. So yan.
Yep.
And currently, at the same time, US oil, naggawa na rin ng parang higher high niya, di ba? So, masaya na ako. Actually, naglo-lower low, tapos biglang higher high. And so let's see if anong mangyari sa oil short. Talagang kailangan lang talaga nila ma-address to eh, na yung supply cuts eh, di ba? Kasi less supply means higher prices.
Akala natin papunta na rin to sa given na yung weekly time frame niya, we are analyzing this parang breakdown, tapos sabi namin parang we're talking about this parang papunta na pwede nang pumunta to $60 to $70 diba per barrel yung support level niya na yan. Pero after the OPEC catalyst, biglang, and this is the one now we are discussing which is our main concern kasi nga, like Ed mentioned, this is the main contributor of the CPI report sa US market eh. And if you think about it, and if you check the fact na CPI last month lahat tumaas versus US oil, and coming to Q4, this Q4, kung ganyan yung galaw ng US oil, so are we expecting higher than 8.3% CPI, diba, sa US market? Hindi natin alam, but at least looking at the chart, parang, diba, just looking at it, parang aakyat eh, parang may potential na bumalik.
So is inflation sa US more of a supply side issue than it is a demand issue now?
Tingin ko yes eh. Talagang yun nga, hindi, actually mix eh. Kasi kung titingnan mo yung inflation, kaya isa rin naman sa contributor niyan is yung nagkaroon ng stimulus eh, di ba? Yung mga stimmy checks. So nung nagbigay sila, syempre, mas maraming pera yung tao, mas maraming silang panggastos. So yun yung parang demand side. So supply side naman, yun yung Russia, Ukraine, di ba?
Yeah.
So Russia, isa sa biggest oil producer. So
parang second or third ata sila eh.
Yeah. So nagkaroon ng sanction. So bawal mag-import ng Russian oil. So syempre, malilimit din yung supply ng oil na pagkukuhanan nila. So talagang both. Kaya sobrang gulo ng market to the end. Kaya ganyan ang rapid increase sa inflation. And if titingnan natin, I think yung sa inflation for next week na lalabas, ang estimate is 8.1%. So previous is 8.3%. So lower.
Sana.
But yung US oil na nag-rally, most likely baka mag-reflect yan next month pa.
Yeah.
So yun yung abangan natin.
So speaking of the US market, Kahane, can you pull up yung maybe S&P 500? So ikaw, Kahane, bro, since very active sa US market, diba, how do you think the S&P 500 will fare this week given na nag-gap down sa mga close on a Friday?
Yeah, so given na tumataas nga ulit yung oil, and given that most likely magkakaroon pa tayo ng further rate hikes, I personally don't think na mag-hold masyado yung 3.6 level. Maybe you can get somewhere closer to like 3.4 or even like 3.2 eventually.
Ikaw Ed, alam mo, just to maybe add, no, I think what's the only thing I'm scared of is parang the Fed is not afraid to make the stock market in the US crash eh. Kasi Ed mentioned na it's a mix of supply side issue tsaka demand issue, and given a very consumer driven in the US, the only way to make demand stop is to make people feel poor, diba? Which is through crashing the market kasi it affects their investments. Magtitipid sila, di sila masyadong magagastos. So I think the thought of that is also a reason why I'm not sure if the previous low is gonna hold.
Yeah.
So, may ka ba gusto i-add dito, bro? Before we move on maybe sa Bitcoin, sa Ethereum?
Siguro sa akin, SPX. So yan, pare-pareho naman tayo siguro ng tinitingnan. So yung previous low talaga dapat mag-hold, which is yung 3580 area. So if makita natin na mag-breakdown dyan, so lower low na naman. So that's how I'm thinking about the US. And yun nga, especially next week, I think Thursday yung CPI report. So let's see if higher than 8.1%, which is yung estimate, expect talaga natin na lalong mag-breakdown yung US market. So abangan natin yan.
Kahani, you can also draw yung resistance level. Siguro yung bias natin to even yung short term, parang draw a trend line dun sa August 17 and September 12. Yan. So, I know, just looking at the chart, major probability, it seems that we are going low. And the next target area, like Kahane mentioned, is around 3,200, which is the next support level as well. May confluence dyan. So, for us na ma-reverse yung bias natin na short term, it might go higher. Even yung first catalyst, what we want to see this October 13, this coming week, is lower sana to 8% yung CPI report. And technical-wise, is we want this short-term trend line to break yung resistance. Pero yun nga, major probability, at least coming to this week. I hope everyone, you stay on the side muna, given we are expecting a lot of volatility coming to Thursday. Pangit ang close no?
Yeah, sama. Bad close on a Friday.
Gap down, tapos hindi nag-rally. So, even Nasdaq, Dow Jones, so let's see.
So, Kahane, let's just move on to crypto. Can you pull up Bitcoin muna? Yun, so siguro, bro Matt, we can take a look at your insights sa Bitcoin. And before you give that, mayroon akong question na pwede mo sagutin siguro after mo bigay insights mo. Pwede kayo mag-add in. Paano natin basahin to, given that at the bottom, ang taas ng volume? Marami nagtatanong sa akin, can we call this accumulation, given na nag-hold siya? Is it distribution? Diba? So, ano yung thoughts nyo doon? On top of where you think Bitcoin is heading?
Correct. So, for me, I believe, based on the on-chain analytics na binabantayan ko on a daily and weekly basis, there are some accumulation na nangyayari. So, given its volume, kasi kahit pinull out mo yung weekly, monthly chart niyan, malaki talaga yung volume at around 18,000 to 20,000 level. So, it's a good sign, yes. But chart-wise, and also the reason it's a good sign given for the longest time since kailan ba to? July, June, parang it is currently high, no, di ba? So potentially, okay, major probability. I'm not saying na this is 100% accumulation and it might go higher very soon. But at least looking at the technical indicators we have, major probability there are some institutions or even traders accumulating in this area, 18,000 to 20,000 level. Actually, one indicator na binabantayan ko rin, if you can pull out din, yung on-balance volume or OBV.
Volume profile, bro. Nasa top, yung may fire na emoji. Ayan.
So, yan yung... Hindi, actually, pwede rin yung on-balance volume. I'm not sure kung... But anyway...
Joke lang, OBV pala. Iba pala yun. Sorry.
Yan. So, as long as it is above, above at that level. So, yan. At around that level, 18 to 20,000 level, it is currently holding and nandiyan siya sa taas. Kasi ang gusto ko lang makita pagka OBV yung ginagamit ko is nandiyan siya sa taas. Basically, nagre-range dyan. Ayoko yung tipong nasa ilalim. Okay, like for example, yung kailan to 2020 ata, parang ganyan. So but anyway, it is currently holding my support level. So again, my assumption is there's a lot of traders, institutions accumulating in this area. But let's see, in the coming week, like I mentioned, ang hirap sabihin na we are going higher in the short term. What I want to see is to break that resistance level at the end of the day. We know how to do a chart, we know how to read chart. So what we want to see is to break that level first before we decide na, oy, pwede na to. This is short-term bottom and potentially merong rally sa Bitcoin market. Kasi again, no, US dollar pa rin yung concern natin eh. As long as hindi nagbe-breakdown yung US dollar, we expect risky assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum to have some volatility. It's either going sideways or down.
So, Matt, you mentioned on-chain analytics, no? So, for those who don't know what on-chain analytics is, it's pang track mo yung, parang mistaken tama, part of it is tracking mga wallet addresses, but to see mga galawan ng mga whales, right?
Deposit, withdrawals, institutions buying, sentiment, so mga ganyan. Para siyang naka-analytic siya. Naka-program na siya.
Yun, okay. So that's for Bitcoin and Kane. Before we move on to individual requests, so guys, feel free to comment PSE, crypto, US request. Let's take a look at Ethereum muna. So sticking with you, Bro Matt, Bro Ed, maybe you can start pala before Bro Matt gives us insights on Ethereum.
Yeah, so for Ethereum, same naman. So ako generally view ko sa crypto, parang may relative strength siya compared sa equities eh. If titingnan ulit natin yung SPX kanina, di ba? Parang yung SPX, gagawa na ulit ng new lower low, di ba? Pero yung crypto like BTC, ETH, so yan, nandiyan pa sila eh. Nire-retest pa lang nila yung neckline eh, which is yung previous resistance, di ba? So yung nasa left side. And malayo pa sila sa lower low. Malayo pa sila gumawa ng lower low. So for me, very interesting din yung move. And at the same time, kanina na pinoint out ni Toma na volume, laki ng volume sa BTC. Pero sa ETH, kita natin na wala masyadong volume. So most likely, yung BTC, if may accumulation man talaga, yun ang meron. So si ETH, wala pa. So based on the volume lang. So yun lang ang analysis ko for ETH.
Very important to note yung mga support levels ngayon eh, both for BTC and Ethereum. Diba? Even yung short-term resistance level. Kasi once we break that breakout point nung July 15 or 16, then we expect this Ethereum price to go even at the 1,000 level, which is again confluence of your previous support. So both yan sa BTC and Ethereum currently nasa support level na natin.
Yan.
Interesting. Kung higher that 8.3% yung Thursday natin CPI, expect some volatility.
Online casino na naman sa gabi.
Online casino.
Oh, okay. So that's for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So now we can transition to looking at a few individual stock requests. So we already have a few here, but before we saw Eagle, I have another special guest who wants to say a few words, no, before we move on to the
What's up, mga ka-Investa?
Oh, I have a quick segue bago tayo pumunta sa bigat mo na boy sa individual request, no. So it's been a while since nakapag Kyle, this is Kahane, this Ed and Matt. My guests for tonight, including you. So what do you want to say so we can proceed?
Subscribe sa Instagram. Like the stream. So yeah, I'm subscribed na sa Investa.
Yeah, so subscribe to the channel. And Kyle's wearing one of Investa's merch. No, not for sale, but part of yung mga Kyle, laki mo na daw. I mean, your own daw, yeah. Grade 5. Kyle. Hi Kyle, mas cute ka ito, ma. Okay. And and Ma'am Joanne says, that's my boss. Joanne says, good evening. So please tell everyone, Kyle, to join.
Join sa Investa Summit.
Investa Summit.
Summit right now.
Yeah, so guys, as you all know, the Investa Summit is coming right up. this November 25 to 27. This is not even the full list of speakers. We'll update this poster. But if you look at the website, investagrams.com/Investa Summit, you'll see that we have a few new speakers who are up there, which we'll announce very soon. So yun nga, the theme's all about opportunities in crisis, and as we all know, we're in the brink of a crisis right now. But we believe that, of course, in every difficult period, there's always an opportunity for growth. So, which is why we decided to continue to host the Investa Summit and invite mga malulupit na speakers. And of course, if you guys didn't see the post earlier, all new Investa Prime subscribers get free tickets to the Investa Summit. So if plan nyo mag-subscribe na talaga sa Prime, yun, libre lang yung Investa Summit for you guys. And of course, to old Investa Prime Elite annual subscribers, ayun, you guys get free access to the recording of the event. So, ayun lang. Kyle, we have to proceed, but before I let you go, do you have any final words?
Merch soon coming sa public, guys.
Okay. No, not really. Fake news. Okay, thanks, Kyle. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, say good night. Alright, join Investa Summit, right? Okay, thank you. Bigat. Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you. Quick segue lang. So, game. Let's continue with yung charting session natin. Bye, Kyle. So, let's start with Eagle. PSE muna from John. Eagle. Uy, nag-up pala to. So, maybe, bro, Matt. Siguro kahane, matagal na kita dinatangon. Bro, hindi tungkol sa gasto, but, were you aware of bakit kaya nag-up pala to si Eagle?
So, honestly, di ako aware kung ano yung rason ba't nag-up yung Eagle. But then, I guess in terms of a trading context, parang similar lang yun siguro sa sa LR na chinag natin before na it's a bear market. Really wala masyadong magandang risk reward para humabol right now. So, yun ang sentiments ko. But maybe you guys have an idea of what happened with the stock.
For me, yung news sa Eagle is yung catalyst is San Miguel Corporation, SMC, will buy Eagle. Parang hindi ko matandaan yung total amount, billions of pesos, but at least that's the news. After listing Eagle Cement 5 years ago ata at 1580 pa, hindi ko matandaan yung exact IPO price. But at least now, si Ramon ang San Miguel Corporation will plan to buy Eagle Cement as part of their portfolio.
Yeah,
so may mga context na yung sa wholesale pre-pandemic time, para ang nangyari is hindi siya natuloy.
Hindi natuloy.
So may mga provisions silang hindi nasunod, and also the reason hindi na, you can pull out the wholesale chart. So, yan. So kailan yan? 2019 ata.
Yeah.
So hindi nag-rally siya given na San Miguel, Ramon ang plan to buy wholesale. At may mga insider din tayo dyan. Pero hindi natuloy, may mga provisions silang hindi nasunod. So, what San Miguel would like to do is to have cement parang business inside San Miguel Corporation. So, and also the reason, at 22 pesos, yan yung plan nila, 22, 21, hindi ko lang exactly sure kung ano yung exact price. They plan to buy out yung Eagle as a company. But the range is 21 or 22. Now, chart-wise, gap up. Siyempre, it's very difficult na humabol at that level. Kahit na momentum trader ka, since your risk-reward is sobrang unti na lang. Again, hindi naman natin sure kung aabot ng 22. Same what happened to wholesale. They decided, they agreed na they will buy out yung wholesale at 19 or 20 level. Pero if you go back to the chart ng wholesale, umabot lang siya ng 16 or 17 ata. 16 or 17. So again, risk-reward, technical-wise, given na wala pa siya dun sa price na yun, and given na ganyan historically nangyari sa wholesale, hindi natin 100% sure kung aabot siya to 20, which is the price given by San Miguel. Yes.
Okay. That's for Eagle and wholesale na rin. So next naman natin is LR. So last week, one of the leaders. So wow. Grabe pala to. Ed, how do we, diba? I think last time we charted this, nandun pa siya sa parang mini pause, if you wanna call that a pause, no? So Ed, how do you, what do you make of this? Diba? Is this something you would at this point in time still try to get into, given na ang lakas niya?
For me, LR, like I mentioned naman before, yung LR, yung mga ganitong kind of stocks, pang momentum traders talaga. So if trader ka na sumisilip ka lang at the end of day, yung stock na to hindi para sa'yo. So kailangan sa LR, mga LR, kailangan yan intraday mo tinitrade yan eh. Kasi very fast yung moves niyan. At the same time, kung magka-cut ka, mabilis din. Diba? So again, like I mentioned, swing trader nga kami ni Bro Matt. So kami, pass kami dito talaga. But if marunong ka mag-momentum, marunong ka ng momentum setups, may alam kang setups na for momentum, pwede ka mag-participate dito, di ba? So ang important lang is talagang if ma-hit yung cut mo, talagang cut kasi once na nag-break yung mga ganyan, talagang malalim, especially na ang lalayo na niya sa EMAs eh. So if ever kung si-swing ko man to, pero I'll wait near the EMAs, EMA 20, EMA 50 plus small candle, small volume para at least nagta-tight yung range.
Yep.
Pero parang ang hirap ng habulin at this point eh. Kaya even momentum trader ka, unless talagang intraday mo, pero ang 95 degrees na yung increase niya eh. Ang medyo alanganin na eh.
It looks extended sa short term, no? Tingnan natin lang, medium term to long term, kung ano yung potential mangyari sa kanya. Kasi, I mean, at the end of the day, hindi rin naman natin alam hanggang saan yan. Same what happened to Aba, di ba?
Correct. Possible, yun lang yung simula.
Good drawing, kahani. So, yan yung next resistance level, which is again, risk reward, medyo maliit na.
Alright, so that's for LR. Next natin is Ace N. So, bro Matt, what do you take of Ace N?
Yeah, fundamental wise, it seems that this is, as a company, okay pa naman yung business niya, earnings wise, still on the positive side. Chart wise, it's a concern. Okay. So, do we believe that this is a head and shoulders pattern, even on the weekly time frame? Pagka yung long, tingnan mo yung weekly, pwede ba yung head and shoulders? Diba? So, if we consider it as a head and shoulders, then we expect this to move lower back. I know, short term, we might see, short term, we might see a move higher, short term. Yan, perfect. So, but it seems that yung short term na yon was just coming from its oversold condition. Parang sagad na kasi, even if you take a look yung relative strength index mo, so short term, you might see a reversal, but medium term to long term, it seems that major probability it might go lower.
Alright. So that's for Ace N. Next naman natin, try to get a few more in, is Aba. So Kahane, what do you take of Aba? Aba Core, bro?
Wait lang.
Alabama, din naka-crypto kasi yung set mong market.
Kaya pala.
Kaya US lumabas. So,
hindi ka na ma-chart ni Kahani yung Alabama.
Kaya Kahani, ano tingin mo dito sa Aba Core?
With Aba, I think na-discussion natin ito dati, diba? Pero for me, sobrang alarming ng big red candle na to. Na usually, for momentum stocks, usually parang dun namamatay yung overall momentum ng long-term trend niya. So, ayun, for me, stay away ulit ako dito sa stock na to.
Alright. So, ako, tingin ko yung isa pa malaki warning sign was the volume on the close last Friday. So, significantly higher than maybe, I think, the past 6 or 7 days. So, possibly, sign of what can potentially happen. So, ayun lang. Same insights na naman with Kahane. So, okay, let's continue moving on. Next from Dave, Boss Dave Bautista, good evening. So we already looked at the dollar a while ago. Maybe Ed, we can take a look at gold. I'm not sure if that's a commodity or you're keeping an eye on.
Yeah, gold, sige. For gold, ayan, ano daw, for inflation, hedge for inflation, pero parang hindi. For gold, so far, ngayon, di ba, parang nagkaroon ng reversal, but again, ang so mangyari dito is magkaroon siya ng higher low, if sakali. So meaning, hindi dapat siya mag-below September 28 candle. Pero for gold, still, kita-kita naman natin na clear downtrend pa rin siya, and still weaker if compared sa, I mean, commodities in general, di ba, weak talaga, except sa coal. So coal lang ang malakas na commodity. But for gold, if gusto ko i-trade yan pataas, gusto ko makakita ng higher low muna. So very important yung September 28 low for me.
Pero bro, at this point, and Matt and Kane, feel free to butt in, no? At what can be a driver pa for gold at this point, since it was supposedly the hedge to inflation, right? Pero it didn't pan out that way, and inflation is at record levels already. Parang may pag-asa pa ba to? Is there a possible driver, or medyo olat talaga?
Kasi what I learned din is if nagkaka-recession, talagang expect commodities to go down. So first time kasi talaga natin magkaroon na may inflation at the same time, I mean, may recession at the same time, nag-raise pa rin ng interest rates yung Fed.
Yep.
So talagang very new yung environment na to. So even yung mga nakikita kong speakers, first time nilang ma-encounter to na recession na pero nag-raise pa rin ng interest rates. But clear naman sa chart, kita natin sa gold na hindi siya nagper-perform as a hedge. Since yan, clear, downtrend talaga. So for me, stay away pa rin ako for gold.
Oo, parang good point, Ed. You mentioned it. Just looking at the chart ng US dollar and gold chart, no, parang for me, cash is king talaga. Yun ang nangyayari for now. Everyone is just accumulating US dollar. Everyone is just staying on the side, not buying anything. Equities, commodities, other than yung sinabi ni Ed, coal. Pero even gold and silver, it seems for me, even if you look at the weekly time frame and pull out the 200-day EMA. Diba? So usually, pag 200-day EMA, as long as mag-break yan or even mag-hold, you expect it to move sideways next to a down move in a long period of time. So given you have that kind of move, just pulling out your 200-day EMA on a weekly time frame, then I'm expecting this to move lower. So it's a bit concerning for me, given like Ed mentioned, US dollar keeps on moving higher.
Okay.
I know, may nagsasabi na gold is a hedge for inflation, but the way we are looking at it, parang yung US dollar, USD PHP yung hedge natin for inflation. Di ba?
Okay. So, thanks guys for the insights of gold. So, next naman natin is, nag-scroll down ako, saan na ba yun? But it was web. So, Kane, pa-pull up naman ang web. Ayan, so web strong bound. So, Kahane, ano tingin mo sa web? How do you make up a chart like this? Let's say, for example, di ka pa nakabili.
Let's say di pa ako nakabili. Pinaka-important thing to look at first is kung mag-hold ba tong level na to, yung 2.9 area. So ideally, dapat mag-range pa siya a bit higher than the support level. And hopefully mag-act siya sa support level. Para ma-establish lang na may some sort of accumulation. But then, given the market environment, parang di masyado malaki yung chance or probability na yan. But let's see.
Okay. So I think that's a quick one for web. We have a few na pang crypto from Judge. So QNT, ENS Matic. So let's take a look at some crypto charts. Maybe let's start with ENS. Yun nata yung pinakamahina among the three. Or hindi naman.
Na-spot to
ENS.
bro using Investa Prime.
Oh.
Shout out si Judge. OJ yan. OJ fam.
Ayun. So, ENS. So, maybe with you, bro Ed, what do you take of ENS?
For ENS, yan, kita naman natin na parang nag-form siya ng meron na siyang cup. So, possible kaya na magka-handle naman next. So, titingnan natin yan. So, for me, ENS, strong naman since above EMA siya. Unlike yung BTC, ETH kanina, di ba? Below EMAs. But ito, above the faster EMAs. Although, hindi nakabuka sa akin yung 50 and 200. Wait lang, open natin. Ayan. So, above 50 but below 200. So yan, kaka-break lang rin pala niya ng EMA 200. So let's see, ako gusto ko muna magkaroon siya ng possible handle. Tapos pwede deploy ng onte sa bottom ng handle and then follow up sa breakout. So yun nakikita ko.
Okay. So that's ENS. The next request from Judge was Matic. So go Matt, ano tingin mo sa Matic? Kani maganda dyan, drawing mo ng channel.
Perfect. Yep. So, at least relative strength-wise, I know Matic itself, merong good fundamentals. Almost the same as Ethereum. And of course, again, catalyst-wise, meron naman laman to. But looking at the chart, thank you for putting that up. So at least for me, what I want to see muna is a retest of that trend line resistance before I can participate sa Matic. So again, breakout and the retest of that trend line muna yung gusto ko mangyari.
Okay. So that's for Matic. The next request was QNT, the strongest in the market, and ang sakit panoorin. Siguro ako na sa QNT. So QNT kasi I was able to kahane if i-draw mo yung downtrend line from yung August, yung yung yan lang. So, lower pa. Lower pa.
One?
Yeah, from there, yan. So, I was able to get this at 100 a few weeks ago. Pero, as I shared last week, pero binenta ko na sa rally, so 120. And ang hirap panoorin na umakyat hanggang 157, no? Pero it is what it is. This is the only one na halos may mga matitibay na nag-hold hovering below highs. Pero this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the only one na tumutuloy. And even recently, right, US markets going down, dollar continue to go higher, nag-break out 2 days ago. So one of the leaders, and maganda yung I forgot who said this, if it was Mark Ritchie II, na the leaders make it difficult for you to buy them. Or Mark Minervini, parang mahirap bilhin. So mahirap bilhin dahil sa market environment. I when it was consolidating, I wanted to get it at 130 at support, pero hanggang 134 lang yung binagsak. So ayan na, naiwan na. I can't pull the trigger on the breakout kasi nung nag-breakout siya, that was Saturday, tapos Friday, sama ng market. So ngayon, tumuloy na. So that just goes to show, di ba, na matibay talaga siya. And something to still keep an eye on, even if it's already moving higher. Right? Pero, ayun, the only really resilient one, in my opinion, QNT. Which says a lot about it, and which also says a lot about the market itself. Di ba? Given that it's the only one or two or three of the only ones na matitibay talaga na nagpa-follow through.
Before lahat ng chart ganyan no?
Oo nga dati masaya yung buhay eh.
Correct.
Same
na leader ng QNT is XRP.
Correct nga, tama, XRP.
Parang you have your triangle pattern. Diba? So triangle pattern, breakout. So ngayon, retest. So even mas clear yan sa 4 hours, 5 hours time frame. So let's see.
Ayun. So next, let's take a look at back to PSE. Converge na naman, ang crowd favorite recently. So maybe Bro Matt and Kahane to give your insights dito sa Converge. And just I want to answer a quick question lang from Christian. Kailan yung mga live charting session? We do our best to do it weekly. At a bare minimum, every other week. So every Sunday, 8 p.m. Okay. So starting with you, Bro Matt.
Mm-hmm. So for me, what you need to understand first, Converge, it's already below IPO price. That's number one. It's very clear. Second, it's continue to go lower and lower. Okay. So break support, another lower low. Third is, you already know na maraming naipit. So if that's the case, then given it's oversold na yan oversold condition. Short term, we might see a move higher. Short term. But again, medium term to even long term, given na maraming ipit dyan sa taas yan, even at the 18 level, so expect it medium term to long term na even move lower. But short term, given na ganyan na yung RSI niya at oversold condition, plus we have a clear bullish divergence, expecting it to move higher short term. Yung mga ganitong chart, huwag nyo expect na let's say you participate at 12, 13, 14 pesos. Okay, nakuha ko na at the bottom and meron ng chance to go even dun sa previous high niya, higher. Yung previous high niya, let's say 34, 30 level, no? Diba? So given them, again, maraming ipit Yung vol base nga na pinulout ni Kahani kanina mas maraming ipit dun sa 26, 40 level. And then, dun sa 18 level mo, meron ka pang confluence sa volume. So, expect some hard resistance level, medium term to long term, kung aabot man dyan sa 18 level.
Okay.
So para sa akin, mostly same thoughts lang rin kay Matt. So if you're gonna trade Converge, most likely short-term bounce lang siya. Since nga, oversold na siya and may bullish divergence niya. And ideally, if gumalaw nga to, mabilis mo rin hopefully ma-dispatch siya kasi yun nga, malabo yung chance na umakit pa to the highest highs given that maraming ipit dito.
I mean, alam naman natin, fundamentals wise, parang, as far as we all know, wala namang problem yung Converge sa company, di ba? Hindi lang din talaga natin alam kung nangyayari inside. But at least, diba, internet naman nila, okay naman, earnings naman nila, okay naman. We just don't know kung nangyayari inside the company.
Okay. So that's for Converge. Next naman natin is from Boss Romel. And before that, just want to give a shout out to the 275 people from Facebook and YouTube watching us live tonight. Good evening mga ma'am, sir. Maraming salamat sa oras ninyo. So game from Boss Romel, Balay. So, siguro ikaw, Bro Ed. Ouch. Lala ko, ito ba yung ni Bear? Parang taas ang conviction niya initially, pero wala.
Oo.
Yan, nalala ko. So for Balay, yan, kita natin na break niya yung swing low noong July 25. And ngayon, nag-rally ulit. But for me, pass pa rin ako sa Balay kasi there are other better picks sa local market. But if gusto nyo talaga i-trade yung Balay, siguro I would trade this if bumalik siya sa neckline around 0.62. Tapos you can set your cut dun sa low ng October 3 candle. Diba? So yun, for Balay.
Parang classic na if hindi ka marunong hindi ka marunong gumamit ng proper risk management, no? So, tatamaan ka talaga dito sa Balay. Like for example, what Bear mentioned, di ba? Parang he's holding it, accumulating the past 4-5 days and then just one day, sinole. So if let's say hindi ka nakabenta at that level, even at the break even, maybe your funds is now at the long term. Given na ganyan kalalim niya. That's how important risk management is.
Alright, well said. So that's for Balay. Next naman, JFC. Leading, tama diba? Consumer to, diba? So,
JP Morgan.
Yan. Relatively matibay na blue chip. Relatively. drawing ang mga downtrend line kahan tas from the bigger base. Tas ikaw na yung mag-comment. What's your take on
Baba,
JSP?
sagad mo dun sa pangalawa.
Di bro, dun sa pangalawa. Oh. De bro. Lower mo. Yan. Something like that, yeah.
Ayun. So, para sa akin, di ako sure how you would trade this. Most likely, range trades ngayon, given that yun nga, medyo volatile yung markets. And ideally, mag-hold yung support niya at around 225.
Oh, siguro sa Jollibee, given na relatively mas malakas siya than other blue chips, interesting siya to keep an eye out, pero not necessarily something you should buy immediately. Given na it broke out, retested the base, sumut sandali, so probably shook out a few people, but still holding up above it, although medyo parang alanganin. But since it's still there, maybe something to patiently keep an eye on, not something that you would execute on immediately, but something to keep on your watch list. So, that's for JFC. Next naman natin is Tech. So, Sir Tech. Medyo kulelat sa ito. So, Bro Ed.
Yeah. For Sir Tech, number one concern ko is downtrend siya. And number two, sobrang late ng volume. So around last value traded niya last Friday was 7M lang. And kita naman natin na above average yung volume yun, di ba? So 7M lang. So something na hindi ko to gagalawin. So for me, Tech pass.
Alright, so quick lang yun. Next natin naman, bigger name, SEC for Bro Matt. Isang stock na parang ayaw bumitaw.
Parang ayaw bumitaw, no? Given na yun
Ayaw bumitaw.
commodity. Pwede kang gumawa din ng parallel channel dyan para makita natin yung support and resistance. So that's your resistance, and then dun malagay sa isa. Sa may wick.
September 1.
Sorry, wait lang. September 1.
September 1.
Taas. Dun sa taas. September 1 mo ilagay yung
Dito.
okay lang. Sige. Okay lang. So at least for Semirara, I mean, this is a DMC, Semirara, LR, ano pa ba? Eagle. Those fours are your leaders sa Philippine market. So yung reason, like we always mention sa charting session natin the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yung reason it is still holding is because of your coal, diba? Commodity. As a commodity, given na nag-hold siya sa ngayon. So at least as long as coal price is currently holding, well, we expect this to be strong. Same with your DMC. DMC, merong business yan sa Semirara 20% if I'm not mistaken. So of course, US dollar wise, commodity wise, Semirara, DMC, both are earnings in US dollar. And given the US dollar umaakyat, then we expect higher earnings for this company. So, I mean, it's currently holding. Is it a buy? Potentially, yes. Major probability, yes. And you can put your stop limit dun sa previous low.
So that's for SEC. Next naman natin, Wilcon.
So, grabe.
So, ayun na.
Parang pinag-usapan natin to eh.
Ano take niyo sa Wilcon, mga sir?
Ikaw, Ed.
Sa akin, Wilcon, pangit ng chart, ang gulo eh. Pero yun, nung September 13 nga, finorce up siya, meaning at close biglang gap up yung price. And right now, medyo, although relative strength-wise, mas malakas siya compared sa under index stocks, di ba? Mm-hmm. But for Wilcon, siguro, ang gusto mangyari is yan, mag-consolidate siya dyan inside EMA. So, yan yung favorite setup ni Minervini, nagko-coil sa EMAs. At the same time, mag-tighten yung range and yung volume lumit. So siguro, once na mag-form yun ng base, doon ako pwede participate sa breakout ng base niya.
Alright. So, that's for
If
Will
maganda yung
Con.
market, tapos may volume to, at ganito mga type yung pwede mong bilhin di ba?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ito. Ed, may request daw. Pasample daw sa piano mo sa likod.
Sige, sa
Kanina
dulo.
nag-uusapan natin yan. Alright. Next naman natin is from Godfred. Ditto, Kahane, what's your take on Ditto?
Galing.
Dito. So mostly same lang rin sa sa ano nga ba yun? Sa Converge. So may wala kang bullish divergence pero it's extremely oversold right now. And if magkaroon man ng bounce place in the markets, we can hopefully find a short quick trade here. But then again, yung expectations dapat is short play lang siya. So most likely pabato mo na around 3.3 or 3.4. So whenever mag-rally, parang look at it as a chance na bala na yung shares if ever bibili ka.
Sorry, just to add lang catalyst dito, catalyst for this to move lower pa. Medyo negative yung catalyst. Kung yung Semiraran DMC is earnings through US dollar and kung umaakit yung US dollar, better to those company, DMC and Semirara. But for this one, given na dollar-denominated yung debt nila, the more na umaakit yung US dollar, you expect their earnings to go lower. And that is equivalent to price to even go lower.
So knowing that, maybe that's a good example of bakit kahit onting fundamentals kailangan malaman mo talaga.
Oo. I mean,
Diba?
based from my experience talaga, sobrang bihira ako makakilala ng 100% na technician. So laging it's either 80%, 70% of the time technical analysis. Laging merong halo na catalyst or the fundamentals, then haluan mo ng sentiment.
Oh.
Mahirap eh. Kasi even during this kind of environment, if you're just purely technician, puro whip lang yung mangyayari sa'yo. Puro shakeout, whip. Even na macro side, again, catalyst, fundamentals, macro side, macro environment side, then ang dami nangyayari eh. Diba? So if you're purely technician, talagang puro shakeout lang. If hindi mo alam nangyayari outside.
Right. So, next, sabi ng coach ng Mavs, Jason Kidd, sana ma-invite si Mark Minervini sa Investa Summit. I'm trying my best. Pero may isa pang Mark na mukhang mataas yung probability na pumayag. So, yung Mark na yun, nakapag-speak na yun before. So, yun na lang aking masasabi. So, ito, we have a... Sorry, pumiyo ko. Kanina po ako nagsasalita. From Dave, mayroong question. Sir, paano po nila nalaman sa US 10-year bonds or US 10Y chart kung magkaka-sign of a possible recession? So, baka mas okay pag i-candlestick mo ka. Or actually, pwede na yan. Kahit line chart mo. So, siguro, Ed, how can we use the US 10-year ba? Or the 10-year US bond as an indicator for a possible recession?
Siguro clear lang. Yung 10-year used yan to look at if possible nang magkaroon ng inflation. For recession, ang tinitingnan talaga natin is yung commodities. So if nakita natin na nagda-drop yung commodity, so I think yung ginagamit ng commodity is yung tingnan ko yung macro chart ko, ticker symbol, yung SPX Commodity Index. So I don't know if meron sa investing SP GSCI. But yun yung ticker symbol niya sa ibang charting software. Pero yun yung tinitingnan natin if gusto natin malaman magka-recession. Usually, yun yung leading indicator talaga. So yung US 10-year, yun naman yung tinitingnan natin for inflation. Yan. So usually kasi, if may inflation, expect na magtataas ng interest rates yung Fed and sasabay din yung 10-year bond yield.
Think ko baka yung refer ni Dave is yung baka yung inverted yield curve. Kapag sinama na yung 2-year. Kapag nag-invert yung
Okay,
pwede
okay.
yun, di ba? Pwede rin yun.
Yeah, pwede rin yun. But for me, I keep it simple lang talaga yung, yan lang, 10-year lang and yung commodities. So sa akin, okay na yun for my analysis.
Okay, so alright, we have time for maybe a few more charts. So guys, feel free to send in last minute and then feel free to send in maybe two, three questions if meron. Pwede natin spot yung mga yan. So next, for Bro Matt, let's take a look on Monde Nisin.
Lower low din to, no? So same with Converge. What you need to understand, it is already below your IPO price. Next is maraming ipit. So hindi natin alam kung anong ginawa dun sa up move ng July until September, then September hanggang October. So maraming naipit dyan sa level end at 16 to 17 pesos. So for me, it's a do nothing. Like Kahani mentioned kanina sa dito, given its oversold condition, I'm expecting short-term rally, but medium-term to long-term, kahit na this is a consumer-driven company, and like I mentioned kanina, Q4 yun yung expectation natin na makiat na earnings. But looking at the chart, for me, short-term, this is pwedeng umakyat, but medium-term to long-term, we might see some sideways or even a down move sa stock.
Alright, so that's for Monde. Ito, dahil tinawag mo kaming mga poging sirs, RCB, Rizal Banking ata yan, for you, Kahane. Hindi yan, bro. US stock yan eh.
Kaya pala. Wait lang, sorry.
Yan.
RCB, ayun.
So, would you give any, given na medyo illiquid to, no, bro Kahane, would you give any significance to the past 3 candles na medyo nag-rally?
Honestly, for me, di ko siya masyadong titignan at all since sobrang illiquid niya. And I guess to draw from experience, usually if mag-trade ka ng illiquid stocks, kahit maliit lang size mo, minsan tatamaan ka pa rin ng ng illiquidity sa bid and ask boards. So yeah, trade as it is na medyo mahirap pag mag-trade sa stock na to.
Right, so that's for RCB. So maybe we have time for last 3. So maybe we can go Derek Balboa, AEV, Bro Matt, or Bro Ed pala, sorry, Bro Ed.
Nice.
For AEV, sa akin, ang concern ko lang yung October 3 candle niya eh. So, sobrang laki and lalim. Though, volume naman, maliit lang. But for me, okay naman yung chart niya. So, yun, may relative strength din compared sa other index stocks. At the same time, nagko-coil din siya inside the EMAs. So, again, if magkaroon siya ng price tightening, mag-lower yung range ng candles. At the same time, volume lumiliit. It would be interesting for me. And gagamitin ko yung breakout ng base niya to enter siguro. And then yung bottom ng base as my cut. So yun, for AEB.
Okay. So maybe last 2 charts na tayo, no? Sige, last 3. So very quickly. So maybe Bro Matt, we can look at Meg. Meg, GMA 7 tapos LTG.
So Mega World, chart-wise, fundamental-wise, catalyst-wise, so it's a bit this is one of my concern given the more rate hike increase ng central bank, ng Fed, ng BSP. Mostly the top 3, one of the top 3 na tatamaan is real estate, diba? So Mega World is one, of course, given its business, and even yung mga REITs. So that's the fundamentals for Mega World. Chart-wise, you have your setup, you have a potential double bottom setup sa Mega World. Short term, I mean, as of today, as of tonight, kung hindi nalaglag yung US market last Friday, we might see a bounce up to that resistance level. But coming to Monday, na ganun kasama yung US market on a Friday, and I'm expecting this to move lower. Kahit na meron na yung bullish divergence. So potentially short term, it's a bit of a concern for me. So it's a do nothing for me.
Alright, so that's for MIG. And then GMA7. We're on sa GMA7. GMA7, I haven't seen this chart in a long time. Pa-zoom out nga Kahane. Well, looking at the structure, mukha siyang GMA7. Looks like in market cycles, mukha siyang stage 4, di ba? Pang neglect phase or declining phase rather. Or approaching that neglect phase. I don't hear anything new about it. Parang, and kung in-invert mo yung chart, parang ganda sana niya, no, for a breakout. Although, ayun nga, it looks more like a short candidate if shorting was allowed. Parang, yeah, ang ganda sana i-short, pero ayun, medyo, for the meantime, pass ako sa GMA7. And our last chart for the night, Kahane, let's look at LTG.
LTG. Alright. So, I think aside from fundamentals, mostly similar lang yung chart niya with Mega World. So, ayun, since nagkaroon ng issue last Friday, given that nagka-supply cuts sa OPEC, if magkaroon man ng volatility sa Monday, we could expect or we could potentially see prices to go lower than the 8 peso support level. So, yun, ingat muna siguro. And if ever makalat ng bounce setup, I guess dun lang. But then, again, tread lightly.
Ayun. So that's for LTG, and that's our last chart for the night. But of course, before we go, I'll just take a look at some of the comments, maybe mga questions. So from Boss Jimuel, shout out sa mga boss kahit Sunday at pahinga na, you always spend time sharing your knowledge with us. Salamat, Investa and Open Journal. Of course, so yun, tama guys. Comment below naman. Thank you, Open Journal. So, Bro Matt, Bro Ed, maraming salamat ulit sa time ninyo. And Boss Jimwell, thank you for your appreciation sa pag-charting session namin. Ito, from Matthew Reyes, ano po madalas gamitin na indicator for long term? So, siguro quick answer for me that baka longer term moving averages. Pero kayo ba, may mga other indicators kayo tinitignan for a possible longer term time frame?
Longer term outlook? Start with usually pag ganyan, you could start with your time frame. Diba? So, removing all the indicators, you start with your time frame. So, start with monthly and weekly chart. So, next, you put in your indicator, use your moving averages, your EMAs. You can use your 200-day or even your 400-day EMA. So, that's actually it. And then volume. Volume kung merong accumulation.
Ay, tama, volume. So, ayun. Boss Omar, DMC, nadaanan niyan kanina, na-discuss ni Bro Matt. So, ayun, Ed, if people here in the stream would like to continue learning from Open Journal like I have for the past almost 4 years, where can we go?
Yeah, so if nag-enjoy kayo today sa kwentuhan namin, so every week meron kaming coaching session and weekly market strategy update with Habs. So I'll put the link sa comment section ng Facebook Live natin and YouTube Live para makapag-join kayo sa Open Journal. So thank you guys.
Yun, alright. And ayan, Boss Jason, dahil sa inyo, boss, imbes na malungkot ang support ko, mas ginaganaan ako to be better. Salamat sa Sunday charting.
Dapat.
Thank you din, Boss Jason, for tuning in. So guys, before we end, Kahane, Ed, Matt, may ba kayo gusto i-shout out or anything?
Ako, shout out.
Final message, yeah.
Okay. Final message muna siguro, sa akin, always follow your risk, follow price. Lagi kong sinasabi sa Open Journal fam, I always believe dun sa strategy na 80% psychology, 20% skills or strategy. So at the end of the day, kung ano yung natututunan nyo dito sa Investa Charting session natin every Sunday, even sa Open Journal, it's just part of your 100, it's just 80% at the end of the day. So you still need to execute and perform at the highest level. So shout out sa Open Journal fam and sa mga JCI Manila brothers. Thank you.
Bro Ed?
Yeah, so ako rin, shout out sa OJ pa, may mga nanood kanina sila. Kita ko sila Bro Judge, yun. And siguro last message lang is talagang ingat tayo sa market. I know very hard yung market environment ngayon, but again, pinaka-importante talaga ngayon is to survive. So after this bear market, basta makasurvive lang tayo, meron pa tayong mental capital, meron pa tayong financial capital, doon na natin iti-take advantage yung next run. Kasi once na mag-bottom tong market, nowhere to go but up na lang, di ba? So yun lang naman. Thank you.
Alright. And Kahane?
Alright, so shoutouts sa Investa fam. Thank you for always supporting Investa. And siguro since bear market ngayon, since wala masyadong opportunities right now to trade, medyo onti lang. Maybe you can take it also as a sort of like as a time to sharpen your knives or sharpen your swords. So you can read books, you can watch webinars, you can join the Investa Summit for continuous learning purposes.
Yun. So dahil nabanggit na yun ni Kahane, my final message guys, Investa Summit happening on November 25 to 27. And just if you guys want to learn from the best traders in the Philippines, globally, we have guys who are not here in this poster, guys like Mark Yusko. Tama ba Kahane? Mark, tama ba Kahane? Tama yung pangalan?
Mark Yusko.
Yeah, si Mr. Mark Yusko, diba? If you guys watch Real Vision, you would be familiar with him. Who's also joining, di na nalagay pa sa poster, but ayun, if you guys are interested, just head over to investagrams.com/Investa Summit. So ayun, final message siguro for me, same as every week. Thank you everyone for joining. Stay safe. Good luck sa upcoming trading week, and yun lang, just sit on your hands as long as you have to, cause the time to trigger is to pull the trigger. Parang hindi pa hinog, no? May pwede mag-probe, pero ayun, parang hindi pa talaga. Shout out to all the, of course, Open Journal family, part din ako dyan. Shout out to all of the Investa Prime subscribers who will get a free ticket to the Investa Summit. Shout out to all of the summit attendees. Shout out sa isa kong tita na nanonood, si Tita Maria Sofia. Shout out to you. And of course, shout out, last shout out ko. Yun is everyone watching tonight. So, thank you everyone. And Bro Ed, Bro Matt, maraming salamat. Bro Kahane, thank you din, sir. And ayun, we'll see all of you guys again, hopefully, next Sunday.
Thank you guys.
Salamat, Bro Ed, Bro Matt, thank you. Kahane, thank you to everyone. Good evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Alright, thank
Bye-bye,
you.
bye-bye.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.